What's good, squad? Back at y'all with another video. Today's topic is your biggest weakness is your greatest strength. So, when you're going through things in life and you have situations and you realize and pinpoint that certain things in life you realize that you have a weakness for, or you feel weak in certain areas, we often tend to look at that as a bad thing. But if you can recognize and really hone in on whatever it is that you feel your weaknesses are, by simply switching your perspective on how you look at it, you can turn that weakness into a strength. Because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. So we all have these things that we deal with, that we look at it and we recognize it for what it is in real time. So we recognize, like, okay, I'm good in this area, and this area, but in these few areas over here, I'm not as sure or stable or strong, you know what I mean, when it comes to how I handle those situations, or how I deal with those situations, or how I feel about those situations, you know. So when you have time to sit and reflect and think about stuff and recognize, like, okay, I have a weakness in this area or this area, whatever it is, it could be anything. But when you realize that, really that's opportunity. The weakness is showing you that there's an opportunity to grow. So that's the blessing within the curse of it, I guess. When you start to look at things from that perspective and not look at it for the negative side of it, when you look at it from the positive side, you can dial in on whatever it is that you might feel is a weakness for you. And then once you recognize that, now you can take the steps to overcome that weakness and turn that weakness into a strength. So let's take, for instance, let's say if you physically feel weak, like you physically feel weak, the easy answer for that is to work on your physical strength. So you go to the gym, do whatever you got to do to work on yourself in that area, to strengthen your body so that you no longer feel weak. But it was because you took the time to pinpoint the fact that you felt weak and you acknowledged it for what it is, that you can therefore go in and take the steps that's necessary to overcome that weakness in that area. Emotionally, if you feel weak emotionally in some sort of way, it's the same thing. It's just all about acknowledging something for what it is in real time, like being honest with yourself in real time and acknowledging that scenario for what it is, and saying, okay, I recognize that when it comes to this and this emotion, I'm good, but when it comes to this and this emotion, I'm not so good. So I'm good over here, but let me focus on this over here and work on strengthening these areas so that I'm no longer feeling weak in that area. So again, that goes with, if you're talking about emotions, that goes with actually digging deep into whatever emotions that is, or whatever feelings you have towards whatever it might be in real time, and really acknowledging and being honest with yourself for why you feel the way you feel about that scenario. And then from there, you can work on taking the steps to overcome that feeling of weakness that you feel about that specific area. So, and it could be like that again with a whole bunch of different things. It could be, working. It could be physical stuff. It could be emotional stuff, relational stuff. It could be anything. Whatever area that you feel like you might have a weakness in, you can overcome it. It's just that you have to pinpoint it and be honest with yourself with what it is, and then change your perspective on it. So no longer looking at it as a weakness. Once you change your perspective and you no longer look at it as a weakness, that's when you can take the steps to turn it around and actually see it as a strength. And that's what I figured out for me, myself, in a lot of areas of my life. Because I'm somebody who's always constantly looking for growth. And really, for me, it's always internal, because if you work on yourself internally, then your external world is going to reflect how your internal state is. So I'm always constantly working on those different things. And I know, like for me, I've worked a lot on myself throughout my life. So I can pinpoint when I know, okay, this certain area over here is something that I need to work on. And by doing so, every time you do choose to actually be real with yourself and dig into what you might perceive as a weakness, then when you take the steps to overcome it, it makes you feel more powerful within yourself. So it's like every time you work on a weakness and you turn that weakness into a strength, it's like you level yourself up to another level, and it actually makes you feel more free too, because it releases that hold that whatever it was had on you, and now you've overcome it. And now that you've overcome that hold, now you can move more freely and not be so affected by it in the same manner that it might have hit you with in the past. So that's what it comes down to. It's really just about, again, being honest with yourself, recognizing whatever it is that you perceive your weaknesses to be, and then taking steps to implement how you're going to overcome said weaknesses. And again, when you do that, you empower yourself. You gain more of your power, because now you don't look at that situation as a weakness. Now you look at it as a strength. And like I said, I know how it is. Us as humans, we all share similar emotions. We go through different circumstances in life, but the emotions that we share are very similar within what we go through on a daily basis and how we deal with life. So when you can find ways to express whatever it is you might feel is a weakness, and then to overcome that, it makes you open up more as a person. So then you're not so closed off all the time. It makes you more free. And then it also changes the way that you look at other people, because when you work on yourself and you really work on yourself, you start to not need as much from everybody else, because you're becoming whole within yourself. So now you don't need as much from everybody else. So when you come around, you're not expecting anything from anybody. And like, it doesn't matter how anybody reacts or how they move or things they say. It doesn't sway you, because you have worked on your weaknesses. So now you have more strength than weakness. So now you're not a weak person, and you're not feeling some type of way when somebody isn't maybe acting in a way that you would have liked them to act before. But now you're not expecting anything from anybody, so it doesn't matter how they act. You accept them for who they are, and you love them regardless. And that comes down with unconditional love, which unconditional love is a big thing, because real love is unconditional. If you are loving somebody with conditions, then you're not really loving them. So that means you're expecting something from them. You want them to act some sort of way. You want them to be some sort of way to make you feel better. But when you're operating from unconditional love, then it doesn't matter how anybody else moves or how they feel about you or whatever the case may be. You're loving them from a space of wanting them to be free, and and understanding that they're going through their own journey in their life. So just because they don't do something you like, or they don't conform to you, or just because they don't move in a way that you would like them to move, you're not looking down on them, you're not upset with them, you're not mad at them. It's not swaying you in any other type of way. It's like you're open. So it's like you're open to accept them for who they are. And when those energies meet and align in the right way, and y'all come together, y'all have a good time, that's cool. But You know, if energies might be off and things aren't aligning the way that you might want them to align in that moment, it's also cool because you're not expecting anything from them. You know, you're not trying to control anybody. Real unconditional love is when you're not trying to control anybody and you're not trying to possess anybody. You want them to be free, and you respect the choices that they make. And it takes a strong person to be able to be in that specific type of energy to be able to operate in that manner and not take things personally. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to take things personally when you're expecting something from somebody, or you want something from somebody and it doesn't pan out the way that you want it to. But when you're operating from a space of real genuine love and unconditional and real unconditional love in a space of no expectations from the other person to fulfill you or make you feel some type of way, then you always come with nothing but love from them or for them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it comes down to. When you work on your weaknesses and you turn those weaknesses into your strength, that's when you become like your most powerful self internally, and then your external world reflects that, and the way that things and situations happen will be much different, and how you respond to those things will be much different too, because you're really not taking anything too seriously. Like, yes, there are serious situations in life that you need to be serious in, but for the most part, you're not taking anything too seriously because you understand that there's an ebb and flow to everything. So sometimes things are going to be in a high, sometimes things are going to be on a low, sometimes things are going to be on an intermediate type of level, and all of that is necessary. Like, you can't survive on being straight high all the time, and you can't survive on being straight low all the time. You need a balance with everything. So you accept those things, and you don't feel some type of way when things don't, like I said, don't go the way that you want them to go, because you have worked on your inner fortitude and your inner strength, and you're not operating from a place of weakness. You're operating from a place of stability, of knowing yourself, because you've worked on yourself. And again, unconditional love for everybody who is within your circle, who you deal with, who you communicate with, who you talk to. You got nothing but love for them, and you want to see them happy, and you want to, see them overcome their weaknesses as well, so they could become strong. And if you can help them do that, you're willing to help them do that, but also with the understanding that sometimes, you have to let people go through whatever they're going through in order for them to reach the level that they need to get to, without your presence and your you trying to fix something for them. You know what I mean? So that's my words of wisdom for today, y'all. Understand and pinpoint your weaknesses, accept them, but then flip them and make them a strength. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, your quality of life gets better. It gets easier. It's more fun. It's more free. There's no ill will towards anybody. There's no feeling no type of way towards anybody. You just living your life and enjoying it for what it is while you're here, and making the best of it. You having fun, living freely. Again, not trying to possess anybody or control anybody. Only thing you're trying to control is how you feel internally. And again, by working on your weaknesses and making them a strength, it's going to automatically raise your level of vibration on the inside, and you're going to be operating from a good feeling standpoint. So you're going to find yourself being more playful. You're going to find yourself not taking things so seriously. You're going to find yourself just wanting to have a good time with whoever you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to become magnetic. And because of that, and that is going to draw those type of people into you, because you have that frame of thinking and moving, and that energy that you're carrying is going to make people want to be around you. It's going to make people want to deal with you. You're going to be magnetic. You're going to automatically draw that type of attention in, and people are going to associate you with a good time, because you've you're not operating from a place of weakness. You're operating from a place of strength. And people love strong people at the end of the day, you know, because strong people are leaders. Strong energy attracts people. So that's what it's about. So I can hope y'all take that information, soak it up, spread it to whoever might need it. As I always say, I appreciate you coming through, hanging out with me, soaking up the knowledge. I'm sending love out your way. I hope you're having a good day, and I'ma holla.